Good morning. It's Wednesday morning. Just been to Hector's. Got a coffee with Sam and the dogs. I've got 30 minutes easy this morning. Now this week is going to be probably the biggest week in this entire prep. So I thought it was important to take you along throughout this week. Now, Monday was a public holiday here in Australia. Did 40 minutes easy. And then last night I did a pyramid style 8 by 5 minutes sort of tempo threshold kind of session, starting at 410s, working down to 405, 4 flat, 355, and then back up off 70 seconds rest. And that was a really good session because it's the first time in the last few weeks that I've done a Tuesday session, and then I'll back it up with something on Saturday as well. So ever since I sort of had these shin splints popping up, I have backed off doing a Tuesday session. So coach has thrown one in this week, and then got a big session on Saturday, probably the biggest Saturday session. And then we're sort of at the back end of it. We've got one more decent week next week, and then we're into the table weeks. So while I get myself sorted this morning, thought I would take you through a bit of an update in terms of where I'm at with my body. So like I said, I've taken Tuesday sessions off, and I've just been doing either a Saturday or a Sunday session. So I've done like the 3x7K, I've done 2x10K with a 3K threshold in between. Last week I did 26K at about 420 pace. Body seems to be holding up pretty well. I'm definitely a little bit sore this morning off the back of yesterday's session, but for the most part I've been running pain-free, and I am super stoked about that. Feeling really good at the moment in terms of where I'm at mentally heading into the marathon. So I'm just excited to sort of get through this last week, and then we are away laughing in terms of going into the taper. I'm sure things will start to feel weird during the taper, as they always do, but I'm really excited to toe the line in Goldie. I was talking to my mate Jared last night from Christchurch, who's running, and I was saying to him that I haven't run a big race since September last year. So closing in on nearly a year, not having done a big race, and then closing in on like 16 months longer, maybe 16 months since I ran a marathon. Feels just way too long between marathons. So really excited to get to the Goldie, run the race, see how it goes. Like, I'm just excited to be racing again. Something else that I wanted to touch on this morning, I tend to, when I go into a marathon prep, maybe like most people, I get super locked in. In a way, that's good, but what was happening was I stopped going to track, I stopped running with people, and I sort of went maybe like a month without seeing a lot of my friends. And I thought that was going to be the best plan moving forward in terms of being able to execute marathon training to its full potential. But what it ended up doing was I was just isolating myself from a huge area of my life that brings me a lot of joy. And so I'm sure a lot of people can echo the same sentiment, but I thought it was important to talk about it because I had a lot of people messaging me like, where are you at? And so last week I managed to get in, I did 5 social runs in a row that all fit within my marathon training. Did Wednesday with Tess, Thursday at AMPM, Friday with Emma, Saturday with the Mizuno crew, and then Sunday with Liam. And so you can still fit in your marathon training while running socially, is what I'm trying to get at. And I always thought that those kind of two had to be separate because everyone's sort of running at different paces than you, and everyone's easy pace is slightly different, but there's ways to be able to do it. You shouldn't avoid it, you should embrace it. Social running is so important for feeling connected, feeling like you're a part of a community, and just feeling like you're a part of something. And I always feel way better after obviously going for a run, but then going for a run and being able to have, a good conversation with someone, be able to catch up with them, see what's going on in their lives. And it makes the time go faster. Like the run I did with Liam on Sunday, we ran for 2 hours and 10 minutes and just flew by. So stay social during marathon training, it's very important. Alrighty, that was 5.33 kilometers, 5:38 average pace, a little over 30 minutes. This weather, where it's a little bit cold in the morning, sort of need a bit of a long sleeve, takes you a little while to warm up, along with the late sunrise and the autumn leaves, it's just the most beautiful time of the year to be running. It's fantastic. So I wanted to dedicate today's video to fueling. Now I'm specifically talking pre-run and intra-run fueling. It's definitely one of those things that I see a lot of people going wrong, whether it being fueling up incorrectly before training, during your training, or they're not even being prepared for race day. I remember last year I had a guy who I know message me probably 3 days before the marathon asking me if he could give me a call to talk about what gels he should use for marathon day. And if you're at that point, you're too far gone. Good luck to you. And so that's why I'm making this video now, so you have time to prepare for race day. So our main form of fuel when we are out running is going to be carbohydrates. Carbs get broken down by your body, stored in your muscles and your liver, and turned into glycogen, which you can then use as fuel. You will often hear the word bonking or hitting the wall, and that is where you've completely depleted your glycogen stores and your body basically has no fuel to run. So tomorrow I'm doing probably my biggest marathon session of this entire block, and so today I'm doing basically a mini carb load. So carb loading in its basic form is eating more carbohydrates so you can top up your glycogen stores in your muscle and your liver. They can hold roughly about 2,000 to 2,500 calories. So today I'm going to try and hit around 500 grams of carbs, which is about 2,000 calories worth of carbohydrates. Two reasons why I'm doing this. First, so I have enough energy for tomorrow's run. And the second is getting my body used to consuming this amount of carbs, because when it comes to marathon week, I'll be doing a 3-day carb load in the lead up to marathon race day. Now, carb loading is much easier to do with simple carbs. So I like to turn to things like lollies, bagels, and then some form of sugared beverage. They're really easy to eat, they contain a lot of carbohydrates, they're not very satiating, make it a lot easier to just be able to get in a lot of carbs. If you were to do this with whole foods like fruits and vegetables, dates, things like that, they contain a lot of fructose, which can cause some people to have upset stomachs. And they also have a lot of fiber, which can make you feel fuller, more satiated, harder to eat more of those types of foods. Now, I also have in this box, which is an order from Aid Station, not affiliated with these guys at all, to show you some other options for either things that you can use to carb load or intra-race fuel. You know that I'm a fan of the BPM products. This is their gel, this is their carbohydrate bar, but these can be expensive, hard to get. This is probably my alternative if I was to, if I lived in Australia or New Zealand and I wanted to get what I think is probably the best fueling on the market. An alternative to BPN's G1M Sport, which is their carb mix. I guess this is on the pricier side. This is the Modern Drink Mix 320, 80 grams of carbohydrates. This is a really good way to also get in lots of carbs if you are carb loading, because you can do 2 of these in a day. It's 160 grams of carbs, really easy stuff. More than 320 also comes in a 160 if you don't have as many carbs. This is definitely slightly more, this is on the premium side of fueling. Morden makes great stuff. You can't deny it. On the carb loading side of things, these are the rice bars from Sturka. This is the chocolate one. This thing's phenomenal. 50 grams of carbs, super easy to get down, tastes delicious, really good option if you are looking for another carbohydrate source. Sturka rice bar, amazing. 6 of them, got 4 320 drink mixes. One thing I haven't talked about, electrolytes, super important to reduce fatigue and avoid any sort of muscle cramping. This is a brand called Sodi. They make a whole bunch of different flavors. They all taste really good. Their raspberry one is exceptional. They come in 30 pack sachets. This flavor is salty citrus. These are actually for my wife. She likes them, throws them in a drink bottle. And just make sure she stays hydrated. And then these are new. I haven't tried these ones before. I've had the gel before, not in this form. These are the gel 160s from Morden. 40 grams of carbs using their hydrogel formula. These are really easy to digest. They don't have a taste necessarily. They're more of a jelly type consistency, again on the probably higher end of the price bracket in terms of fueling, but I think they're worth the money. The last thing you want is any GI distress while you're trying to go for a marathon PB. That's everything I got in the aid station order. Let's talk about how I'll be fueling tomorrow before my run and during my run. So a big focus for tomorrow will obviously be getting some more carbs in the morning, waking up early enough to be able to digest those properly, and then not eating too much so when you start running you feel full. That will typically look like a Morton 320 drink mix. Like I said, this has got 80 grams of carbs in it. Then I will have one of these bagels. This is just a plain bagel from Abe's. These have about 45 grams of carbs, so between that and the Morton drink mix, that is 125 grams of carbs. Usually I'll just leave it there, but sometimes if I can, I will also try and get in one of these. So either this is the Go Bar by BPN, I think this is 200 calories, 36 grams of carbs, or like I mentioned before, this is the Sturka rice chocolate bar, 50 grams of carbs. So they're pretty similar in size, more carbs in this, something to keep in mind. If you go with one of those two options, you're looking at about 150 to 170 grams of carbs before you take off for your run. With the drink mix, I'll throw in some form of electrolyte, probably either one of these sachets from Sodi or a scoop of the BPN electrolytes. And that'll put me at either 500 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium, depending on whether I do 1 or 2 scoops. Because it's not so hot in Melbourne at the moment, typically we'll just go for 500 milligrams of sodium. And then intra-run fueling is super important. Obviously it's different for everyone, but you want to be hitting a certain number of carbs per hour. So for me, depending on the intensity, I usually find that 60 to 90 grams of carbs per hour is enough. So what that would usually look like is either about 3 of these gels from BPN or 2 of these Morton 160 gels. So for tomorrow, I'll be looking to have one of these about every 5 to 6K, so every 20 to 25 minutes, give or take. And so over the whole session, which should be about 2.5 hours, I should be getting in anywhere between 160 to 200 grams of carbs. Now, like I said, this is all sort of personal preference. Some people may want less, some people may want more. You may need more, you may need less. That's why it's important for you to trial these things during your Saturday sessions or your Sunday long runs. See how you feel, see what your body needs. And if you haven't, have the ability to try different types of gels to see what works for you. I hope that helped. I'm gonna eat some lollies, have a bagel or something, and I'll see you in the morning. Yesterday's run is a prime example of why you need to test your race day fueling strategy during your long run efforts. So I'd spent the entirety of the block using a 24 gram carb gel, 100 calorie gel, whether that be the BPN Go Gel or the Morton 100. Yesterday, I wanted to trial whether or not I could take in more carbs. And so I used the Morton 160s. I was trying to take one every 30 minutes, and I realized that that's too much carbs for me. Potentially not too much carbs, but trying to take that whole gel at once, probably not the best move. Took the first one, that went fine. 30 minutes passed, took the next one, and I couldn't finish the whole thing. I started to feel quite sick, and I was taking it mid-rep as well. So I was putting out a big output, trying to get this gel down, and was starting to feel relatively queasy. So there's sort of two things I can do here. I can either attempt to do the 160s every 30 minutes again, like I was trying to do to get into some more carbs, but obviously instead of doing the whole gel all at once, maybe sort of take it in over the next kilometer, so maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Or I just go back to 100 calorie, 24 gram carb every 25 minutes, like I had been doing and had been feeling fine doing. I think that if I can get the extra calories in, it's gonna help me later in the race when I probably need it the most. So yesterday's workout, super stoked with how that went. I've got one more workout next week, which is not quite as big as this one, but still, relatively decent in terms of its size. Yesterday, 35-minute warm-up, and then into 3 by 30 minutes. First 30 minutes being zone 3, and then the second and third 30 minutes being at marathon effort. So I managed to hold 4:19 for the first 30 minutes, and then 4:15 and 4:12 for the second and third 30 minutes. I actually decided to run the workout in the Alpha Fly 3 just to give this one more crack before Goldie, just to make sure that this was definitely not going to be the race shoe of choice. Great shoe. I think I just run a bit more efficiently in the Hoka. Now, I have 2 more shoes left to sort of trial before finally deciding on what shoe I'm going to wear. Obviously in a lucky position that I can try lots of different shoes. My mate, Connor Johnson, who has a really good Instagram series going on at the moment called Chasing Elite. He's a 69:44 half marathoner, trying to get that down. I'll leave the series link below. We are luckily the same foot size. He works at Up There Athletics, a really incredible sort of boutique-y style running store in Melbourne. Same size foot. He has given me the Adios Pro 4 to try for a run. So I have the Pro 4 to try for one more session. I've got 3 by 8 minutes on Wednesday at Threshold, and I'll have a crack in these. And then I have a pair of the Puma Fast Stars coming, and they should be here tomorrow or Tuesday. So 2 more pairs of shoes to try before finally making a decision on what shoe I'll wear for Goldie. But I've heard really good things about this. Connor really likes it. My mate Dave Stoff really likes it as well. I tried on the Puma Fast Star last night at Connor's place because he's got a pair. They fit really well, so if I can run efficiently in them, they're comfortable, could be a really good choice. So a couple more options left to try in the shoe department, and then we'll make a call on what shoe it will be for Goldie. So that's everything for this week's episode. We're getting to the very pointy end of training and prep now, so excited to sort of get through the next few weeks, get into the taper, and see what we can do on the Gold Coast. So appreciate you guys following along the journey. I will see you in the next one.